So the Civil War has ended, and now it has to be decided what is to become of 3 million people who had been in slavery but are no longer in slavery. There's going to be various political machinations at play here, but out of this, what we're going to call the Reconstruction era, we see a rise in equality. Um, there were 3 amendments added to the Constitution after the Civil War, some involving Lincoln very heavily and some not, as we'll find out soon. The 3 Civil War amendments to the Constitution were the 13th Amendment, which will permanently abolish slavery in the United States, the 14th Amendment, and the one that gets brought up quite a bit. States were prohibited from denying equal rights under the law to any American, and citizenship was redefined. Citizenship becomes, if you are born in the United States, you are guaranteed the same rights as everyone else. A lot of enslaved people had, in fact, been born in the United States. So this was the quickest way to make sure that they were enfranchised, that they were supported. The 15th Amendment gives them a voice. The 15th Amendment guaranteed voting rights regardless of race, color, or previous condition of servitude. Didn't matter who you were or what you looked like, you could vote. Now, there's going to be a ton of pushback to this. A lot of former Confederates will regain political power in the South after the Civil War. This will lead to the installation of the Jim Crow era and the restriction of civil liberties for African Americans in the South. So it's not going to be all hunky-dory, even though on paper it should be. Lincoln wanted to reunify the country. Remember, his first goal had been to keep America as a single union. So he wanted to make the southern states feel like it was easy and quick to become part of the country again. Lincoln had a plan, and it's called the 10% plan. Lincoln believed that since secession was illegal, Confederate governments in the southern states were illegitimate. They were not a thing, and the states had never really left the Union. As far as Lincoln was concerned, the Civil War was a bunch of states throwing a hissy fit. Right? He believed that Reconstruction was a matter of quickly restoring legitimate southern state governments once 10% of the pre-registered voters of that state in 1860 pledged loyalty to the U.S. government. This was nice because if 10% of the people said they wanted to join the country again, the state would. That's 10% speaking for 100%. It's a little lopsided, so that might have not worked out. Unfortunately, we are not going to see Lincoln's plan, even though Lincoln believed that to reunify the nation, the federal government should not punish the South, but act with malice toward none and with charity for all to bind up the nation's wounds. Lincoln is all about forgiveness, okay? That's why he's only wanting to do this quickly. He's not wanting to punish. He doesn't want to send people to jail. He doesn't want to execute them. He does not think that that is going to solve anything and make people satisfied. Now, Lincoln's plan isn't going to come to be. A few days after the Civil War ends, Abraham Lincoln's assassination, just after Lee's surrender at Appomattox Courthouse, will enable a group called Radical Republicans to influence the process of Reconstruction. These guys were radical, okay, in a good way, depending on how you look at history. But where they differed from Lincoln's forgiveness, they want to act in a manner that was much more punitive toward the former Confederate states. They wanted to punish the South, and they wanted to make sure that newly freed Black American citizens were given equal rights to everybody else.